Hey everyone, Mia here from Resonance Astrology and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk a bit more about that Leo full moon that is coming up, and I'm greeting you very Leo-like, very authentic. This video, once again, pretty unplanned, but I am kind of riffing off of my Instagram post that I did yesterday, which was also about that Leo full moon, but now it's just more compact and I'm talking about it. And yeah, I got no makeup on. That's why I'm wearing these glasses, which just feel very Aquarian to me. I mean, at the end of the day, there's an Aquarius stellium, so yeah, and I didn't feel like putting on makeup. That's how you know it's real. Like, this is happening in the moment. I got my bleed today. I didn't even intend on filming, but this is where we're at. I love you guys. I want to get this video out to you because I feel like a lot of people might be benefiting from hearing this right now. And the title of this video is You're Not Imagining It. This full moon is destabilizing, and I want to really get into that, and also how you can stay embodied through it, because I think this is where we get in the nux and the crux. Because as you know, I like making my videos actually practical. Like, I don't want to just give you information. I do actually also want to give you something to walk away with that you can use in your life and do right now. Because it's so easy right now with all these Aquarius placements, a lot of them being in the second decan of Aquarius right now, which is that 10 till 20 degrees of Aquarius. This is the decan that is in Chaldean and Ptolemean order ruled by Mercury. Both of the times. It's not always like that. Oftentimes it's different planets. So it's one of the most mercurial parts of that chart. The sun is currently there, and that's also, I mean, obviously the full moon is in the sign of Leo. It's not in Aquarius, but let's not forget, it's the full moon is always exactly opposite the sun. And this time around, not only that full moon in Leo is ruled by the sun, and it's ruled, of course, by the sun in Aquarius. And this full moon is going to be, it's going to be in that range. So it's also happening in that second decan of Aquarius. And it's a very, very mental one. And that's why I feel like right now it's very easy to get mentally overloaded. Make sure you take enough social media breaks and ground yourself, which is one of the things that are very hard right now, to be quite frank. Because one thing about this lunation that is very significant, there is no earth energy. Yes, Uranus is in Taurus. We agree that is Earth, but that is not grounding Earth. That is not stabilizing Earth. That is very erratic Earth in and of itself. And Uranus is also late degrees of Taurus. So it's getting more erratic by the second, and it's not really adding anything beneficial to this lunation that is filled with water and air and fire. I mean, primarily fire and air, to be completely honest, but there's also like a little bit of water, and I think we cannot ignore that, especially not because all of these Aquarius planets right now, they are ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is still in the sign of Pisces, which is a water sign. So that is important, right? But again, with Uranus and Taurus, that is just structurally, there's just something very unsteady about this full moon. And I just wanted to let you know that if you're feeling like this, there's nothing wrong with you, okay? Neptune also just moved into the sign of Aries. And yes, we had Neptune in Aries briefly last year. But something that I've been telling folks already last year, Neptune especially, but also Neptune and Saturn together in the sign of Aries. And we're also, that conjunction at 0 degrees of Aries is not far away right now. Not too far away. It's happening on 20th of February. I feel like it's already brewing in the back as well. But these planets, and again, especially Neptune, it feels like a whole new playing field. And I've been making this metaphor, which is funny because I'm not a gamer, but it feeling like you unlocked a new world map. Because when you unlock a new world map, and you don't have to be a gamer to get this metaphor, everything's new. The land is new, the map is new. There's probably parts of the map that are hidden. You need to walk there to explore them. You don't know what monsters you're going to meet. You don't know which new adventures or tasks you're going to have to give, which new weapons or potions. Depends on what type of game you're playing. What you're going to find, what you're going to explore. So it's new, it's exciting, but it's also nerve-wracking because everything is you and you need to kind of go out and explore and see what is happening. And that is also pushing a lot. And at the same time, Saturn is still like in Pisces, and it's just kind of being a bit annoying right now with everything. So, and when there is a lot of air, fire, and water present, but there's no earth, it's so easy for our thoughts to speed up. It's so easy for our emotions to spike, but the body often gets overlooked. And this can basically lead to just, being so much in the head and like thinking about your emotions, but not actually feeling them, not actually being in them, and then wondering, why am I so burnt out right now? Why am I so burnt out right now? And obviously also with so many planets in Aquarius, it's so easy to be overly focused on the collective right now. And I don't think focusing on the collective is a bad thing or anything like that. But it can obviously take away from the individual. And I do think that Leo full moon is highlighting that, making a lot of people aware, hey, I need to step in and take the responsibility to also take care of myself first. And the full moon in Leo, right, ruled by the sun in Aquarius. The sun in Aquarius, not only is it in that second decan of Aquarius, but it's also sandwiched in between the Mars-Pluto conjunction that we just had and Mercury-Venus conjunction that we just had today, as a matter of fact. The sun is like sandwiched in between those two things. So this is, again, as well, why these Aquarian themes are also so present right now. And we are already slowly but surely getting into the activation of eclipse season. Because this is the first moon in that Leo-Aquarius axis. And it's most definitely a preview of the eclipses that are about to come. We are getting, on the 17th of February, we are getting a solar eclipse in the sign of Aquarius. Also when the Chinese New Year begins, by the way. And when it's Mahashivaratri. So a lot, that is a powerful one this year. And also that next lunation, that eclipse in Aquarius, still ruled by Saturn, but a Saturn that has just newly ingressed in Aries, because Saturn ingresses into the sign of Aries on February 14th. Then a few days later, February 17th, we get that solar eclipse in Aquarius. A few days later, 20th of February, we get that Saturn-Neptune conjunction. That is a lot. Maybe you watch my channel and that's not new to you. Maybe this video is you're stumbling upon this for the first time. That is a lot. And I've been saying it in my yearly forecast, like watch out for January, but also most definitely February, because it's such a huge activation. And especially because of that agglomeration of Aquarius planets and it really being a stellium, watching out what house that activates in your chart, because these are going to be the themes that are ultra present for you right now. But of course, full moons always activate that axis, so it is also about Leo. And this is a preview, not just for this eclipse season, like yes also, but I feel like it's already foreshadowing themes for the year as well, because this eclipse seasons we are getting this year are moving in between the still also the Pisces Virgo axis and slowly shifting into the Aquarius Leo axis, because that solar eclipse we're getting in Aquarius, as a matter of fact, is an out of sign eclipse, because the nodes themselves which form the eclipses are still technically in the sign of Pisces and Virgo. And the one that we're getting on March 3rd, the eclipse pair of this eclipse, is a total Virgo lunar eclipse. And that's going to be in sign. And then around August is when the nodes change. And this is going to be very significant. And we're also going to have a total solar eclipse in the sign of Leo on August 12th. And this one's going to be significant because it's going to be an echo to what is happening right now. And we also have Jupiter moving into the sign of Leo this year. So most definitely that Leo Aquarius axis is getting a big activation this year. And we're seeing the themes, like the previews, are happening right now and can give you a lot of insights. And I always urge people to sit down and journal. Maybe also just let life happen. Sometimes I just like to have pictures or notes that I take, like about realizations that I have on my phone, and just going and looking back, what was happening, so I can take this insights and glimpses. And I do think because this is kind of like sandwiched in between that Mars, Pluto and Venus, Mercury conjunction, and also because Neptune just moved into the sign of Aries, this is giving a lot of urgency right now, where people feel like they gotta do something, they gotta be something, they gotta immediately express something. And this is where the body often pays the price because we're overexerting ourselves already when maybe our nervous system is not quite ready yet. And with Aquarius, right, it's global impulses, and sometimes it can almost feel like you're missing out because you're not doing something, like everyone's doing it, like I gotta also do that, I also gotta express that. And it's kind of like, yeah, we don't have a chill pill right now from the cosmos, so we gotta make sure that we are our own chill pill, because otherwise, again, it's very easy to just feel very burnt out, headache prone, are gonna be very prone with Neptune in Aries and also Saturn in Aries, because Aries rules over the head. And I think people are going to have to watch out way more for getting migraines and headaches. I certainly have been getting a lot more headaches these past few weeks. And I'm not a person that gets headaches like ever. So this is significant for me when things like that are happening. And basically, the question here then, and here I'm coming to the practical part, okay? How can we stay embodied? And what does being embodied even mean right now? Like, how can we do that? And I don't think it doesn't certainly mean grounding perfectly. It simply means not abandoning the body while everything else is speeding up, because things are speeding up. Things are only going to be speeding up even more once Uranus moves into the sign of Gemini. And so this is not just for this moon, I think this is also for this whole year. And I feel like embodiment in this moment looks like staying with the sensations instead of acting on impulse, which can easily happen when there's Aries activations. But like sitting and observing and letting the intensity pass through without immediately responding to it, which the gift of Aquarius can very much help us with, because I think Aquarius is a master of detachment. And I know detachment gets a lot of bad rep, and I'm certainly not trying to highlight the toxic version of detachment right now. I think in many ways, oftentimes the world is a bit too detached from everything. But I think the true gift that detachment can offer us is that we stop identifying so much with our emotions, and we see that I am not my emotions. Like, my emotions in the grand scheme of things, kind of insignificant, and it doesn't matter so much. And I'm thinking of these memes with the two people on the bus, right? Where like one is happy, one is sad, and it's like you can look at it both ways, like, oh man, I'm so insignificant, nothing really matters that much. Or, heck yeah, I'm insignificant, nothing matters that much. Like, that's a good thing. And that's Aquarius Leo for you right here. And so, obviously, you might feel restless and emotional or unsure right now, and that's okay. And there's, quite frankly, many things that are evoking these feelings right now on a very legitimate level. This is not about ignoring what is happening. But that doesn't mean that embodiment has to disappear or that we have to disassociate ourselves from our bodies for that reason. Which again, I think this is like a bad form of detachment, is when we completely need to disassociate. Yes, it is a coping mechanism. Sometimes it can even be a healthy coping mechanism. I mean, there's an intelligence in our bodies of why it does what it does. But it doesn't have to be, okay? We don't have to disassociate. That's not the point. At the end of the day, a regulated nervous system is the one that changes the world. And here as well, when I say regulated, I do not mean calm. There is this narrative here as well, again, that a lot of people think regulation means being calm. No, I don't mean being neutral, detached, or unaffected by what is happening. I mean you can stay with what you feel without being taken over by it. Which means, again, something rises up, emotions rise up. And by the way, I'm a Gemini moon. I suck at, I'm so much better at thinking about my emotions instead of feeling them. But through a lot of body therapy, which helped a lot, this is kind of what I learned, is that we really need to just observe. And that is that gift of detachment. Like, you don't need to analyze why this is happening, why this is coming up right now, why am I feeling, like, it doesn't matter. You don't need to know why you're feeling the way that you're feeling for you to be able to sit with all of this. Just see what's coming up. And be like, where is it showing up in my body? Where is it showing up in my body? And then just breathe through that sensation. Just breathe through that sensation. If you can, right? I know it's hard with a few, especially with anger, right? Sometimes it just bubbles up and it comes up. But even here, I feel like there is a healthy way to be with anger. That doesn't have to be like harmful to you or to somebody else. You know, when you consciously are like, I'm going to express my anger right now, that can be so liberating and healthy and good right now as well. Because if we suppress that, then it can get super explosive. Like, and then you're out and about and maybe like you're in a collective, there's a lot of protests going on. You know, it's so easy to have a hive mind mentality when there's so many planets in Aquarius. And that can be dangerous in and of itself. So we need to be sure that we express our angers healthily when we are alone. Maybe you don't feel comfortable getting there, and that's okay. Maybe you feel safer with another person. It really kind of depends on what type of person you are. For me, right now I can just talk about me. To give you an example, is that sometimes when I feel it's coming up, and sometimes I also don't. Sometimes it also just out of nowhere. It like piles up things. I'm just like, now I'm so angry. But I have my ways. It's usually like this roll that I have, this wrapping paper. I take that and I just like consciously go out to the sofa and I let out my growls and my frustrations and just hit it like consciously. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not letting myself getting taken over by it. I am staying with it. I also, you know, do the chest thing. That's so useful. And just, again, letting out also your, like the sounds, like that's very important. And then, you know, when it passes through you, then you can see like, oh, I am not my anger. You're much more regulated. And then you can actually go out there and express and like actually go and change the world. And so I think this is really the work for this full moon, like not to get rid of this strong feelings that might be coming up in whatever way, shape, or form this is coming up for you, but just staying present long enough for the energy to change shape and seeing that things are malleable. We don't have really a lot of, like, Saturn is in Pisces. Okay, that's a malleable, aka mutable sign, but that, you know, that's Saturn. So there's a lot of fixed energy right now, and fixed energy often forgets that things are changeable. Things can shapeshift. And so this is the work of this full moon, is to be like, oh yes, this is not the state that I have to be in forever. I can let energy pass through me and let it change shape. And also let it change the future. So, I hope I could validate your feelings with this a little bit and also give you some practical tools, hopefully. I mean, you know, we're not in a one-on-one body session or anything like that right now. It's not the exact same thing. Also, wow, my glasses look... You can see my eyes so much better when I don't have the white screen in front of me, which I have to look at for my notes. So I do also recommend, you know, if you have a somatic practitioner near you, or you have someone that you're working with, like, do go and work with that person. Maybe hang out with someone that has a lot of earth energy, that has a lot of steady earth energy, that can help you ground right now. Like if you have a chart, you have a lot of air placements yourself, like it can be very hard to get there yourself. Like let yourself be helped by other people right now. We should all be helping each other, okay? It's Aquarius season. But anyhow, this is what I have for you guys. I hope this was enjoyable, pretty free flow. And yeah, wish you a nice, lovely, hopefully not too crazy full moon in Leo. And just let yourself gain the insights that are coming up. And we're going to talk to each other soon. So bye.